What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. They're back, y'all. It's season 22. Project Runway is back. I'm over here with some dirty glasses. That's never cool. Project Runway is back, and we're here to enjoy all the new talent, the new fashion. Last season was such a disappointment, and so, I'm looking forward to this season. Based on what I've seen so far, I feel like there's more talent here this season than, in this first episode than we've seen in the entirety of last season. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. What did y'all think? What did y'all think of this first episode of Project Runway? I was in my glory. I liked it. There's some things that, I'm not going to say things are missing. We don't know, what they got going on. Hey, to go to Africa. What did you think? What did you think of this episode? I enjoyed it. They did something a little different. Well, first of all, they had 22 people. And I was going to do meet the designers, but I was like, there's too many designers. And I'm glad I didn't because, they got rid of half of them before we even get started. That's neither here. You're disappointed. I enjoyed it. It's hard to disappoint me in terms of Project Runway. Like I said, last season was so terrible. This season, they started with 22 designers. That's a lot. And this time around, they were supposed to bring their best, work. Bring their best work. You didn't like the format? We got to switch it up to go to Africa. I wasn't mad at it because I like to see what people can do when they're not under a lot of time constraints. And so if you got sent home this time, I'm going to say it was a little bit on you. And when you got Tacky Tyra and her best friend Heidi as judges, that's poor Nina Garcia. Poor Nina Garcia is over there, battling by herself, for fashion. And La Roche, who I love most of the time. Sometimes he can be a little mean, but I really love La Roche. And I really love Child. Did y'all see Zendaya on the red carpet this past week? I'm gonna try to look it up while I'm over here talking. You said you hope they offer designers more resources at a time to prepare their designs. I don't like all those one-day challenges. I think one-day challenges are okay, like maybe one or two. You know what I'm saying? I feel like for the most part, it's gonna take 2 days. And if they have huge projects, give them 3 days. I agree with you. I would love to see the designers have, more time to execute something that's going to be really great rather than, shoving all these ideas into 1 day's work. That's very hard. Like I said, Tyra is tacky and so is Heidi. And so we got Nina and we got Law. And I feel like Law operates, obviously he's a stylist. And so when these designers come over here, if they want to impress Law, they're going to need to operate in a place of he has clients. Do your homework. I would know who his clients are. I would have studied Elle magazine. They always have these people with all these accolades and they come with a resume and then they get over here and they, you're like, really? So you can create something as a designer and get it in front of the right person. And just because you get that one off, you know what I'm saying? And you get it on somebody who's got a lot of eyes on them, it can definitely change what you got going on. So if you're over here as a designer and La Roche is one of the judges, then you should definitely know who his clients are, know what the style is, you know, that he kind of looks for. Same thing with Nina. Know what Elle magazine is. She's always looking for the next. Heidi is, you know, like her tacky friend Tyra. And, you know, hopefully, you know, we'll have guest judges on. So hopefully that'll balance it out. I didn't plan this, but since I brought it up, I wanted to go check out Zendaya on the red carpet. Um, you said the quality of their work is significantly compromised last season because they appeared to be operating on a low budget and limited time and little talent. Because I feel like even with more time, some of them wouldn't have done any better than they did. You know, you had the person, you know, last season, the right person won because, you know, out of all of them, I mean, in my opinion, even though I wasn't a real fan, you know what I'm saying? I feel like she was able to accomplish a lot with a little bit of time. Um, let's see Zendaya because she looks so amazing. What what a beautiful woman she's turning into. I mean, she grown. I got this thing in all caps. Here she Zendaya. Ugh, people be like, "Why you got it all caps?" Now my computer is gonna act slow just because I'm over here trying something else. But here, let me refresh it. I think Zendaya is she's promoting a movie. What the hell did I just do? She's promoting a movie, but I think she's in Europe. I don't think she's here in the United States. I don't know what her official is. Dang it. Why am I getting every Zendaya except the one? Do you ever wonder sometimes what is your For You page? I'm not going to get distracted. Let me go back and search to Zendaya again. And Zendaya. Why can't her official just show up? I'll do this. At Instagram is becoming so freaking annoying. Anyway, I can't find it. I won't spend any more time over there looking for it. But yeah, she looked amazing on the red carpet. And, you know, La Roche is her guy. That's her stylist. So the contestants come. They introduced 22. Like I said, that's a lot of contestants. Your boy, they brought back Joseph McCray. Uh, I guess. I don't feel like Joseph McCray has grown any since we saw him in his last season. I think he's very much set in his ways. I don't think he's bad. I think he definitely has a point of view. Um, and, you know, we'll see. I feel like they owed him that much because they never should have cut him off in the first place. But if he's just going to come over here this season and bring them same boxy hats, like you take those hats off, cut it out. They don't have to know, like, they don't have to be on everything. You've got your point of view. You know, there are going to be times throughout this season where it'll be cool to like throw your funk on it, especially when it comes to streetwear and that kind of thing. Um, Hopefully, he has been taking some sewing lessons to up his skills. But, you know, I don't want to see him doing that same thing. But like I said, they owed him that much. So, hell, as far as I'm concerned, they owe Miss Joan one too. But we won't get into that. You hope he'll show us something different. I hope so too to go to Africa. I don't have a lot of hope. I mean, I don't have a lot of faith that he will. But, you know, I'm not mad that he's here. Um, they keep bringing these RuPaul drag race people over here. And the drag queens have a lot of problems with taste. They have a lot of ideas, but they don't have a lot of taste. Now, if they're going to go over here, and to be honest, like, I don't know why they're so offended by being called costume designers because I feel like if you're going to be a designer that's employed, I feel like costume design is probably a really good direction to go in, because the fashion industry is about, networking and cliques of people. That's why, let me don't. Anyway, I was going to say that's why there's so many gays, because there's a network of gays, what I'm saying, gay men that, run the world and over there in the fashion industry. And you have to, I feel like in the music industry and in the, Hollywood in general, the fashion industry definitely plays into that. So, yeah, being a costume designer to me says you will be employed. You can work for so many companies as a costume designer, but I think a lot of them, especially the drag queens, they want to be grand and they want to be like out in front of the public. And I guess, child. But if you want your coin, costume design, these costume designers, like for these movies and, you know, I don't think they should be snubbing that. And I think when you're the drag queen, because they have so much ideas, that's probably the best, best place for them. Um, yes, they're like so creative. And I haven't watched Drag Race in a long time. Probably just because I have so much other stuff to watch. I just don't fit it in anymore. But there's some amazing talent over there for them to be able to put together some of the stuff that they put together on a short notice. On Drag Race, though, you're allowed to bring your own. Bring your stuff beforehand. You don't necessarily have to be sewing on the fly. But like I said, I think the drag queens are amazingly talented, but that line between fashion and costume is always a challenge for them. And they talk the most shit. Now, I hope y'all got it off your system, because that was the thing about the twins that drove me nuts, aside from the fact that their talent is very minimal. And, argue with your mama. I don't care. That's how I feel. I feel like they're talentless. Just like, what did Nene say? They were starless. They starless, they designless. There are two people working on one brain, but that's last season. We over here with this season. I don't need all that snarkiness. In the industry is so dope. And it's an actual thing. Like, they don't necessarily show it on here because they're trying to make TV. But in the industry, in the beauty industry as a whole, it's always so cool when you could come together with other creators and build your talent. You learn from people, you take ideas from people, not steal, but you know what I'm saying? You build on what, being around, you learn different techniques. It always makes you come out better. As a hairstylist, if you're working in a salon and all the stylists are shitty, that's unfortunate for you. You want to be around talent so you could grow. Hey, Lotus Egyptian Flower, did you enjoy the show? Did you enjoy the first episode of PR 22? Yeah, so the snarkiness is so unnecessary. So the drag queens came in talking all types of shit, and and the ones that aren't drag, and they're just the very gay boys over here talking all this smack. It's so like unnecessary. I'm tired of that shtick, and especially if you're gonna come over here and not put your money where your mouth is, because at the end of the day, what was her name from last season? I keep talking about last season. What was her name? The drag queen. I forget. Ultra. I can't remember. But there was a bit of cattiness, but not like how the twins were doing it. I think there's a way to, like, what they call it, light shade. Hey, Elsid. Elsid did her review earlier today, and I was trying to catch it, but I was also like trying to get my own shit together. So I'm gonna have to catch you on the replay. Bronner Brothers, that is one of the most, when I compare Bronner Brothers to the premiere show here, the premiere is nothing. There is so much creativity at Bronner Brothers. It's like, as a stylist, I just want to enjoy the show. You said Bronner Brothers showed us how to collaborate, creativity can flow, and artists come together. Remember that show? I think it had, I can't remember if it was both of them, but it was Miss J and Derek J, and they were over there doing hair show. Was that the name of the show? I like that show. Bring that back, because yeah, that was some talent. We need to, like, Utica, that was her name. We need to step up our reality TV. Elsie says like, share, subscribe, and I would appreciate if you go ahead and do that because and if you haven't got your notifications, everybody go click on and click back off. Let's do a reboot. Make sure my numbers is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Y'all are always here with me, and I appreciate that. What do I think about bye? We gonna get into it. Did you have time to take a breath? Oh, Elsie, she probably did 3 other lives between 3 o'clock and now. She just be over there. I told y'all, she says she's got one monitor. In my mind, it's like a whole system of things, like the Starship Enterprise. I imagine Elsie in the Starship Enterprise with all of her, vast amount of screen monitors and buttons and things. She be over there doing a damn thing. She be doing a live and watching the show at the same damn time. It's the talent I wish I had. See, she jumped over here. She's still with Trey in the back. Be careful because Trey be talking so much smack. Anyway, yeah, let's get into the show. I'm just over here running my mouth. So the kids came over. They were asked to bring something. Bring your best. Bring the best thing that you have done, like that represents your design. And I mean, so you already knew this was a thing. I feel like we all have that. You know what I'm saying? As designers, we have that thing. And if you don't have it, you have time between the time you're going over there to the time you get over there to create something fabulous. She's the queen of multitasking. She is. And I'm the queen of stimmering and stammering. And y'all love me anyway. So that's, that's what makes the world go round, how we all be different. Yeah, so I feel like the pressure was put on the designers, obviously, to come with the best of what they had. They went ahead and they spent time, in the project room, in the work room with Christian. Christian was walking around doing their thing. I would like to say this, though. I feel like they should be careful taking direction from Christian Siriano. And that's anybody. Like, you're supposed to take the criticism, you know what I'm saying? But you're supposed to follow your gut. Don't ever not follow your gut, because sometimes I feel like Christian talks them into confusion. Then they don't know. There's a gnat flying around here. Talks them into confusion, and then they don't know, they get lost on who they are. You said some of the contestants' best was not competition worthy at all. And I'm not sure why they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure why they didn't get that. Although I feel like some people went home that shouldn't have gone home, got cut. There was some people on the top that didn't make any sense to me. But it's all subjective. And when you got Tacky Tyra and her good friend Heidi over there in the judging, we need one more judge. Honestly, we just need one more judge to balance it out, because somebody that's real fashion. Heidi and Tyra are models. And, Heidi always coming with, Halloween costumes and things. I don't never really trust Heidi's judgment sometimes. I've seen her say she hates things that, were amazing. You know what I'm saying? We need another judge. It's the first episode, and we haven't got the guest judges in yet, but I'll be glad when the guest judges come, to balance out whatever is going on over here. So, yeah, they come in, they do the workroom situation with, they need me. I'll take it, honey. What is the check saying? I would love to get up there, but I would be, I don't know. I guess we'll see what I would be today when I critique these designs. I don't know if I would be any different than La Roche. I don't like eat tears for dinner. They make me uncomfortable, but I like to say the truth. Oh, hey, Trey, what's happening over here? What are you doing here? Smack. Elsie, did you snitch? What the heck? Why would you do that? Elsie, we'll have a talk later. You said you met Utica in person, such a humble. Well, see, that's what I was saying about Utica. Like, she was giving, I don't know what the pronouns are, They were giving a little shade, you know what I'm saying, but not to the point of being nasty. And these queens came in here with their costumes that looked the fool. Let's start there with all this mouth. So yeah, we have the runway. After we, collaborate in the workroom, we're gonna make the best of what we got, the best of what it can be. Some people didn't get the memo. Um, styling is a big part of styling can make or break, your look. We know that. And so sometimes you can have a great look and you're just not good at styling, and then it becomes a problem. Yes, to go to Africa. You sensed someone was talking. Well, if you don't didn't watch the show, you know what I'm saying, and you don't have any parts of the critique. What I say about you, Trey? Don't be a distraction. Don't I tell you, ladies, every morning that niggas is just a distraction? I shouldn't say that. Boys, men, young men, boys, males are just a distraction. We was over here talking about fashion. Here come Trey, causing trouble. I heard Trey over in LC's behind the scenes grown folks conversation. He was over there talking most smack. I was like, I have to get out of here. I am PG-13. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled programming. You can make or break your situation. You know what I'm saying? If you it's the RHONDA. So if you talking to me, it's the RHONDA. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. um let's get into this workroom. Let's get into these ups and downs. They decided this time, because there's so many people, they're going to go with 6 at the bottom. They got to go. 6 at the top. They get immunity. Next week, there's 6 people with immunity. Boy, does that put pressure on everybody else. For all of those that are safe this week, you're going to really have to come with it next week, because 6 people have immunity, and that's wild. 6 got to go straight out the gate. And when they said that, I was like, thank goodness, because 22 people is too much. It took me all afternoon after I got off from work to put these graphics together. And then Project Runway doesn't make it very easy for to get the gist of what you're trying to look at. You're still being a distraction. If it ain't Trey, it's that Tony child. It's gonna be somebody over here doing too much. But we love it. I'm so glad to have you in the conversation. I feel like this is my first time. I need a little celebration. I'm gonna start having a little celebration situation for first time in the chat. One of the drag queen boys are going home. I hope it's Captain Hook. Captain Hook? You mean Captain Jack? I don't know, but he's from Orlando. And it's funny because I am, familiar with the design community here in Orlando. And I never seen him before. I've participated and attended many Orlando fashion events, but he's well known in the drag queen sector. So maybe that's why. And, I kind of stepped out a little bit. 6 got to go. 6 got immunity. However many, who's in the middle? Let's start there. We'll start with who's in the middle. And who out of these people that are in the middle are my actual fave. These people are safe. We got Octavius, Joseph McCrae, B. I thought he was bi, but he's B. Bayo, Yang child. Yang says she want to make sure that the Asian community is represented. They are represented based on all these names that I have to try to keep up with. And we know how I get, when my tongue gets all tied up and I'm trying to say something that makes any types of sense. Jeffrey recycled that look from Mikey Meeks of Drag Race. Is it Mickey? Bow. Okay, thank you, Elsid. I'm probably gonna mispronounce it anyway, but I really try to get people's names right. Yeah, I don't watch Drag Race, but did he design it? Because he said that a lot of the queens come to him to get the goods. So we got B, Bow, Yang Yang. Y'all got to be kidding me. And I did not even put it there like that on purpose. I was really going by, what do you call it? Balance and everything. Aaron, let me just tell you right out the gate, Aaron is one of my favorites. Um, I think his collection. Sorry about my dog. I think his clothing line is A Pots, but this right here, his design was my favorite, and it's so simple, and it's I like lines. I'm not so much into floral, so it spoke to me. I'm a minimalist, but I really like this. That sometimes you don't have to do so much. You don't have to put spikes in your coochie in order to make fashion. Um, Oh, see, I'm not getting in that. I'm not getting. Oh, Naeem is safe too. I have Naeem, but not over here with these guys. Only because relax, El Cid. Relax. We gonna just go about with what? Because if I get confused, child, yeah. Um, Aaron. Aaron was my favorite. Yang Yang. I guess I feel neither here nor there about it. So I'm guessing that she's here because she managed to create a textile that they were not able to really, recognize. So they were in there, trying to figure out if they were seeing bats or butterflies. And so I see why she's still here because, she's safe because she had them questioning. She had their interest just enough. What'd you say her name is? Bao? I'm not a fan. This wasn't bad. It's just all right. There's a lot of work put into it. And one of the other designers said um that blush color um kind of fades away on the runway. She's not wrong. And I feel like if she had picked a more bold color, like a yellow or even that blue that's on whatever that space Judy Jetson thing is she's wearing. I feel because it was a pretty dress and there was a lot of detail to it, but you can't see any of it because it's lost in the blush of it all. So, um, Bao, I'm interested to see what else she's got going on because she's got a lot of detail going on in her design. The silhouette was pretty. It was a pretty dress. If it had been red or blue or just something that you could see the detail because the details are lost in the skin tone. She don't even have a dark enough model. Maybe if her model was black. Love Erin. Yeah, Erin is my favorite so far. Um, you want to see more from Yang Yang? You're liking her right away. I want to see what she does with textiles. She's young and will definitely probably bring something new that we haven't seen before. Well, green is my favorite color. Ooh, imagine if it was a Kelly green or just something jewel tone. You know what I mean? But I'm not mad at it. I hope she doesn't come over here doing a whole lot of whatever the hell that is she's wearing. The Asian girls are just as bad as the black girls trying to be blonde all the damn time, and it's bad. Now, we're not here to talk about her hair, but since she's here, dressed like Judy Jetson in this stupid outfit with this ugly blonde hair, good grief. Bow, we don't like it. And when I say we, I mean me. I don't know. Bye is entertaining. Um, Bye was a little bit I don't know. He was here to entertain. He was here to, be a character. I'm okay with it. His coat was just okay. I feel like his tailoring, that coat would have been so dope if his tailoring would have just been a little bit cleaner, especially since you had time to do it. It wasn't something that you had to rush and do. Then you had time in the workroom. So I feel like you had at least enough time to perfect those sleeves. By is not B is not an intern. I know that's right. Don't play with me. I believe him. I believe these two like maybe they smash at one time. Now they don't like each other, or they haven't and they want to. I don't know. But I do. Yeah, I was imagining the coat like in the fall with a white t-shirt and some jeans and some fly boots. Like that coat can really be styled in a way. I'm glad Christian made him take stupid skirt off. But I think, the coat is interesting. He just, for me, could have perfected some things since, in terms of the math of it all. When you look at the tailoring of some of these people over here, yeah, but I'm okay. B, you better have your shit together next week. Um, Joseph McCray, we know. I mean, I liked his look. I did. It looked like he took his time, and it was definitely an upgraded version of what he did before. I'm not even mad that he chose this, that he came in here with a look that you were 100% going to recognize him, because La Roche did. He was immediately recognized, but as soon as his model went down the runway, and so I think that's definitely a positive thing. Now, I like I said, I hope his sewing skills have improved so that we're not seeing this look. This was, I think, a great look to open with. They didn't put him in the top because they seen it before. They let you come back over here. They're not giving you're gonna have to work for it this time, Joseph McCray. Um, you like it better than any of the ones yeah, to go to Africa. I agree. I think it looks like he's worked, but we're talking about him having time. So he probably created this for a photo shoot or whatever. The more you sew, the better you get. It's just like anything else. And if he's taking this time, like I said, to perfect his sewing skills, because what you can't compete with is a tailor. And when somebody has good tailoring skills, like if you can tailor really well, then you can probably do anything. It doesn't work in reverse. If you're over here draping all the time or making these gowns that don't necessarily have any shape to it, and you're relying on your fabric, when it comes to tailoring time, and there's some tailors over here, a couple few of them. Even when you look at Erin's dress, even though it's not tailored like in the way you think about tailoring, it's definitely very mathematical. Like there's a lot of math involved in the lines of it all, and everything is, to me, looks like it's purposeful. It's not just like he made a big sack dress. That's why it's so appealing. I feel like when the math is good, it's hard to deny it. Um, Different accessories would have improved the look. Which look are you talking about? Buy or which one are you talking about? Which look are you talking about? Tailors can drape. Not all drapers can tailor. That's because draping draping is not easy. I don't want to say draping is easy, but it's kind of like you throw the fabric on your mannequin and you start working from there, and it's very free flowing. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want too much detail in your draping. Things get weird. Yeah, drapers don't tailor. They can, but it doesn't work in reverse. It just doesn't. Um, oh, Joseph, different accessories. Uh, Maybe. I didn't really notice the accessories so much just because the fabric and everything it's a lot going on. I did really like the shape of those pants. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see. If Joseph McCray stays around, it'll be based on he's likable and he has a good personality. Um, Kind of brings light into the workroom. But it's a room full of queens, so prepare to be messy. That's for dang sure. Octavius. I feel like Octavius is giving me the male version of Miss Joan. And I'm with Nina. I don't hate it. It's one thing I will say about this, because menswear can be very boring. And when I saw this look, I thought, for sorry about all the allies, but I felt like if you're going to have a black wedding, like in lieu of a tux, not in this wild color, you know what I'm saying? In the right coloring, the right cut, um, I think it would be a cool, like, groomsmen, or maybe some of these guys that are on the red carpet looking for something um, other than the traditional suit, depending on red carpet it is. I'm interested though to see what Octavius does, especially if it's menswear, because menswear has a habit of not has a habit, but men's wear is often very boring. And I think the guys have come to a place that they're tired of that. So, and sometimes when you get creative, you lose the masculinity, in the clothing. And that's not always great for every man. But this right here, I feel like I could see a lot of men wearing, you know what I'm saying? Like on a cruise or on a vacation. Like there's a lot of things. It's very commercial. So yeah, Octavius, his skills are borderline tailor. You know what I'm saying? Um, it could use some tweaking. And that's my thing to go to Africa. Like you already had it made, and we're given the opportunity to tweak it. So when you're in a room, like I said, like him in the room with uh what's his name, Naeem, him in the room with Naeem, where they could kind of blend a little bit of what they do. That's when you come out better. He's he's not in the room by himself anymore. He's over here, and he's over here with some young ones, and the young ones definitely keep you on your toes. Is that everybody? That's over everybody over here. So these guys are safe. Safe ain't really safe though, like I said, when there is 6 people with immunity. So, but there's a lot of people, top and bottom. Just because they got immunity don't mean they won't be on the bottom. Who's next? Let's see. So this was the judge's choice for the top. They had their runway. The runway was cool. The runway was, they could watch it, but they couldn't hear what the judges were saying. So, you had to try to go based on people's facial expressions. And so they came out with their 6 favorites. Andre, Brian, Bobby, Jude, Elizabeth, and Chloe. So I'm going to put they 3 favorites from the top. And then we could talk about my personal favorites. Let's see. This is what they liked. They said these were their favorites. I guess, child, because I don't like any of these, to be honest. Andre, it was just all right. I definitely would have put him on the bottom, to be honest. La Roche loved it, so he knows more than I do. He says something about somebody that would like it. He don't know more than I do. I don't like it, and I have a right to not like it. I think as far as his personality goes, it's a little off-putting, but he's young and we'll see. They don't know each other yet, so we have to see like how these people are going to interact in the workroom, because y'all, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, when you get in that workroom next week, you better be prepared to be in a group, because they always do that. As soon as you get here, now you got to group up with people you don't know. We're going to pull tags out and pick teams and stuff. So as far as Andre, I'm not a fan. Nina was in love with the cover buttons, and I was like, I guess, child. I keep looking at it, and I don't like it any better. As far as his sewing skills, I'm going to say I don't know. I thought those buttons were kind of overpowering, bunched up all on each other. So, in the front, it was a bit messy for me. And in the back, it looked like some kind of Halloween skeleton costume, witch type thing. If we were doing, what is it they did last season? The Disney princesses and villains. He got a villain. I hope you don't try to redo it. You're saying, the whole villain thing. And then we go to Chloe, who is, I guess, making Disney princesses. They like it. It's all right. That's all I got. I don't love the color. I don't know how that shirt is staying up. I guess that was the big, how is she keeping that shirt up? It's just okay. You said, and what's how you say his name? Where's Elsa? How you say his name? Andre is meh. I guess I would have put him in the bottom. You like Chloe. The back had endless appeal. You got to have a pretty back for that. Not everybody, if you're La Roche thought it was beautiful. So, you put it on the right girl and you style it right, and it'll go from meh to, amazing. Um, I feel like if Tiana Taylor had this on, I might think differently. Chloe is also your favorite of the three. Chloe is your favorite of the three. Of these three, I would agree with that. Of these three, I would agree with that. Elizabeth would definitely have been on the bottom. Chloe is the only one that I would have kept, to be honest. Elizabeth, as far as I'm concerned, should have been on the bottom. Yeah, imagine Tiana Taylor in Chloe's dress. Then when we say something different, huh? Maybe. I don't know. I think so. Somebody like, one of those Jenner girls, Kendall Jenner or somebody. You put the right girl in it, and that changes everything. But they're those girls with those pretty backs, long backs. Elizabeth, I don't know what this is. This looks like chewing gum stuck together. I don't know what they saw in it. La Roche said he didn't like the back strap. I didn't like the whole dress. And I felt like she was another one. Elizabeth was over here with a lot of opinions. And she also said that, what's her name? Bao picked the wrong color, and then she puts the same color on the runway. I was like, girl, you got the same color in the chewing gum dress. I don't like it. I don't know what they saw. I I think they're bullshitting us. Sometimes I think the judges just be doing stuff just to be doing it. It looks like chitlins. Imagine you have a bunch of chitlins all bunched up together and you make a dress out of it. That's what it looks like. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it the chitlin dress. I don't like the chitlin dress. She don't know what chitlins are, but I bet you if she see this, she'll go look it up and she'll know. It looks like it was done for the unconventional challenge design. Maybe, and it would still look like chitlins. It's the chitlin dress. Elizabeth designed stomach. See, chitlins, intestines. See, Lotus Egyptian flowers says the same thing. It looks like intestines. So there's that. um, yeah, those were the judges' pick for the top. I had a different, I would have put three people from the middle. I don't even care which ones. Yes, chitterlings. The dress looked like chitterlings to me. I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, we have these guys over here. No, I don't want to go there yet. Okay, this was from the top. Right now, Jude is a standout for me. I don't know this Jude. Jude look like he needs to make a dress and then get on the runway because he looks like a boy model. This is really dope, and I really like you can't see it here how he had the little boxers underneath. That's the little things that you do to make it youthful. Chitlin dress said it was boring. The nerve. Um, you don't like the color? You mean of the chitlin dress? um, my only critique of this is the shoe. Like, he's still on the top, but Christian Siriano made him. I know that wasn't the ugly shoe that he wanted him to pick out. I wish the shoe had an ankle strap. Or something. Actually, I like the boot, honestly, because there's so much going on, like with the ruffles and everything. I feel like it definitely needed an understated shoe, but I think that little ankle boot was not the one with the buckles, but there could have been an ankle boot, little heels, little dainty one, not some big clunky heel one, but those shoes are ugly. She's a young girl, and I think the boots would have gave him the kind of youthfulness that he was looking for, but Christian was over there talking him out of it. Jude brought his game. I can't wait. And he's 23. And when Heidi was like, let's see if you can do that in a day, he shouldn't have to do that in a day. That part. But I bet he can do it in two. I bet he can do it in two. He can do it in one probably. He'll have to compromise on the backside. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm somebody who I like the inside to look nice and neat too. So he might have to cheat that, but he can do it. He's good at math. People that are good at math don't have a hard time with tailoring. I mean, it makes them much faster at tailoring. I'll say it that way. Brian, his stank attitude, but his funky little shrug dress, that was cute. It was creative. He picked the right model. Again, I could see myself like, visiting New York, and then I don't know, I wouldn't wear what she's got, with her knees out like that. But I definitely think it would, another, New York chic with jeans or black leather pants or something, skinny and tight at the bottom, where the focus is on that, that shrug. The fabric was cool. It was cute. And then when they say bring the best thing, the thing that like represents you, I think he probably did him between him and Jude did the best job at that. Now I don't know what he gonna do next. I don't know if he's like another Joseph McCray and is just gonna keep sewing a bunch of squares together. They had a lot to say about Joseph McCray. You know, I'm just saying he was one of them. I feel like. But yeah, let's see what else you got. I love a designer that comes with interesting shapes, though. That was cool. I thought nothing else on the runway looked like that. Brandon gave us high price marshmallow. Who said that? That's what Tyra said. She said she wanted to devour it. Um, well, to go to Africa, she's a tough cookie to crack. I think I like it. You know what I'm saying? It's different. I like I said would have styled it very differently. And sometimes when you do that, then it changes the game. She's like a high price marshmallow. Um, what's this young lady's name? I can't see it. I like her dress though. I really like this dress. Um, Bobby. It's a cute idea. I'm guessing Bobby is a streetwear designer. Um, I'm with Jude. I think the dress did not need whatever that thing is on that lady's head. But I think other than that, she styled it well. It was a pretty color. Um, Imagine, I don't know. Like I live in Florida, so I wouldn't ever need a puffer coat dress, but I liked it. The color was pretty, and it's one of those things that it's like art. You know what I'm saying? It's editorial. So I could definitely see Nina using that, like, on one of her Elle magazine ads. So, yeah, those are the people at the top. These are the people that are going to have immunity. And uh, we got style and fashion over here. And then you got a couple chitlin dresses. Just one chitlin dress. Um, who was safe? Who was the other? We did the safe ones, but the way they did the bottom was a little bit different. Let's see. So this was their bottom slash safe zone. We got Jennifer, Lorray, Anna, Arbani, Jeffrey, Robbie, Plain Jane, Naeem, and I think this other lady's name is Andrea. Did I break this one down? Child, I was over here trying to get all these things together. This is the safe crew. Naeem, he's another Taylor. Love this. I love his look. It's so young and modern. And again, another one that could, get these red carpet actors. What's his name? What's his name? There was in Snowfall. Lori Harvey's man. Um, Eldris, Damon Eldris. I think that's his name. I can see him. He's a fashion guy. He likes to, do something different on the red carpet. The tailoring is amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's gonna do. I even like what he has on, Naeem, and I think it's cool that he's following in the footsteps of his father. Um, you said you love the design and the model. The model ain't bad either, child. Um, You said the dress did not flow well down the runway. Oh, you talking about old girl? It definitely. I don't think it's a dress for wearing. I definitely think it's a dress for photos. It's editorial situation. Yeah, Naeem, I'm looking forward to seeing what Naeem is going to be doing. And Anna, now I was going to say this. I like somebody brought it up, the unconventional challenge. Um, it's not even just the bottle caps. Like I hope she's not going to be putting bottle caps on everything, but the fit of the dress is really good. Like I don't normally like those pointy things at the bust line, but she did just enough for it to look, interesting, but not too pointy arrow things coming to the ceiling. So the way she cut this dress and then they made it move that way with bottle caps. I think that's very dope. And I think another smart one, I think it's another smart one to bring an unconventional challenge design to the runway to represent yourself in that way because it's giving fashion and unconventional at the same time. You said Naeem Taylor made his outfit to perfection. He did. He did. And that's what I said. It's a couple Taylors over here that, given the right opportunity, they not to be messed with. Naeem is El Cid's man. That's the one she like. Is that your number one? Uh, I'm gonna have to give right now. I'm gonna have to give my number one to Jude, and then Aaron, and then Naeem might be my number three. So he's definitely in my top three. Anna, I like Anna again. Like I said, the way that dress moved, and it was bottle caps because it could have just as easily been sequins or something made, of fabric. So I do like that. And yeah, the cut was very flattering on this model. She got a thick old model too. She did give us a good first impression. She's a New Yorker too, so she's used to being around a lot of different inspiration. This right here, Danny could have went home to me. This is what I'm talking about, Heidi. This was definitely Heidi's mess. I don't understand, some people that went home shouldn't have went home and they kept Danny around. If you look at her Instagram, it's just a bunch of other mess. I didn't see nothing over there that looked like it made any sense. So I'm wondering why Danny was kept around. I guess they try to touch into everybody's niche because everybody don't like the same thing. So we'll see. I can't even tell if Danny can sew because she got a nice corset situation here, I suppose. And then the rest of that stuff, I don't even the colors that she chose don't make sense. This is just a whole bunch of ugly. I'm sorry, but too bad. My opinion doesn't, matter over here. They like pirates. One's in real life and one's on the front on the runway. I don't know what she likes. She one of those girls with no eyebrows and, I like bustiqueras and ruffles and, maybe whips and chains. I don't know, y'all. Viking princess. See, it's very costumey. It looked like a costume. Give her a beer stein. That's why Heidi liked it. First she said, it's even too much for me. And then they're like, but she can stay. Why? Child, why? Moving on. I did that one already. Let's see. Did that one. Who am I missing? The final four? I guess it's the final four. Oh, well, let's see who's out. I didn't even pick a thing for Andrea. Andrea is the one at the top with the pink tights on. Andrea's out. Andrea should be out. I don't know what the heck is happening here with what Andrea got, what she's putting together. And this is the best. So if this is the best of what she's got, I don't need to see no more. None of it makes sense. It's just like, I think she thinks she's being edgy and cool. And, she could think about that wherever she came from because it's a hot ass mess. Who else? Andrea out. Jennifer out. Jennifer came over here as a Project Runway model, and she should just go ahead and keep doing that. She, her Poison Ivy dress was a no for them. what she has on is way better than this dress. It just, I didn't even expect that from her. When she put that dress out, I was like, word? That's because she just like, you know, and when you look at her, she just gives a little more edgy than that. You said Andrea brought the flea market without. She did. She was in the thrift store just grabbing stuff, you know, and then was maybe that was her inspiration, inspired by the thrift store, the flea market. I don't know. I'm glad she's gone. We don't have time to waste with these people, you know, and their foolishness. Let's get them out of here. Jennifer, she had to go because you know she picked it's a costume. It's not even a good costume. It's just Lorray, I'm so disappointed because I really like was hoping to see more of what Lorray had to offer. I wish that red dress that she's wearing is way better than this she's so hooked on this shape and so she does it a lot. I like those pants though. I wish the pants were not matched up with that top. And I picked this red one because it's the same thing as the green one. I just had a hard time. I couldn't really get a picture of the green one, but the red one is the same thing as the green one. It's a triangular top, but the pants are very cool. You wanted Jennifer to stay. It was not the best, but better than some of the ones they kept. I was okay with Jennifer being out just because that's not design. You know, if you're gonna do it, then do it. You know what I'm saying? So and her sewing skills look subpar. Um, Same thing with Lorray. I think Lorray has potential based on what she's wearing. I went to her Instagram. She's got a lot of cool stuff over there. You know, she's reminds me of what's the girl from last season that figured out herself on the way on the way through the journey. I think that's where she's at. That red dress that she's wearing in her cast photo is dope. Like if she could have done that, I think it might be a little simplistic, but I see her vision. Her vision is very much warrior driven, African queen driven. And you know, maybe that's why I like it. Um she just about everything that you see her, even what she was wearing that day was cooler than that. I think she messed herself up because she put what, you know, she got caught up in that triangle thing and you know it didn't bid well for her. And you know, maybe you know they're not ready. Honestly, they see it, we see it. I think maybe they didn't want to push too much the African warrior queen goddess look. You know, that's something that you know maybe is a little uncomfortable for them. So they was like, we know, we'll just get this, you know, raggedy Danny over here with this ugly dress and what's her name, the chitlin dress lady. Let's get down to the final four because I do have them separate. Belinda, yes, I think she does. She reminds me of Belinda. But I feel like I didn't like Belinda's choices so much. I think you know, like you said, she has potential. I'm sorry that she had to go so fast. Um, you said that's the issue I have with Ray. She dressed herself better than the model. Yeah, you don't. I think what you don't do is go, I'm gonna be so fly on the runway when they see me. That's not what you want to do. You definitely want to put, you know, the best on the model. And so, you know, it was a misstep on her part, but I think Heidi was wrong. You know, she came out of her mouth kind of sassy, and I don't know, maybe you know it's the whole African warrior princess queen vibe that she was giving, but I felt like I wanted to go cuss Heidi out on her behalf. Um, so the final four. They're doing this thing again where they're gonna leave us hanging, so we won't get to know who goes home. They're gonna go ahead and give us a cliffhanger. But looky, all the drag queens is in the bottom. All that smack they was talking, and look at where they are. And I feel like they brought these drag queens over here because they already have a fan base. And that's why they're not going home. I have, in my mind, I think our Bonnie is going to go. I've looked at what she got over there on her Instagram. It's not a lot. It's not really worth keeping her around. she was Miss Universe or something, Miss USA, or she's a pageant girl turned fashion designer. When you look at her design, it's very Joanne simplicity pattern. It's as though she got a simplicity pattern, and it's like a make your first jacket situation. And she went over there and she sewed her little pattern, but she didn't add any details to it. Oh, we got a new person in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Um, I don't have any celebration just yet. I'll have one next week. Ching-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Welcome to the chat. When the designers come better, let me first YouTube. You're new here, so it always takes me a minute to get these names. YouTube, Academia, and some. Did you do that to make it so difficult? I'm gonna call you Academia. And let me know if that's okay. But I'm not definitely gonna be able to say all of that every single time. You said when the designers come better dressed in their models, I'm confusion. It's true. You're not supposed to be worried about how fly you are. Honestly, if it were me, I would just wear black. I would just come to the runway every time wearing something black, so y'all could focus on the design and not on me. They bought the drag queens for drama, but they make the difference between drag and fashion so obvious. Hopefully they will. I agree. Hopefully they will tone it down. It's an opportunity for everybody to learn. But right now, I think these three brothers are here for the entertainment of it all. And Jeffrey and all that hair, we're gonna have to do all of that. But you see how Jeffrey has black on? I don't know what he had on the runway. Robbie could have gone home. This is ridiculous. This isn't even drag. So you thought this was the best of what you had. I don't know even what. He's another one that came dressed better than, his model. Why didn't he just do a boy? He could have had a boy model with that on, and it would have been more interesting than whatever the hell this is. This hot pink thing. Who's wearing this? What is the inspiration behind it? There's a bib. There's some fluffy sleeves. There's a corset in the back. There's some ugly shoes. They need to take his drag card, because I don't know what that is. I don't know where you would ever be wearing that thing. You said you wonder if Yuta could encourage these guys to go on the show. Honestly, I have been saying for a long time, when I've seen the talent over there, that they should, participate, because there is definitely talent over there. But you're not at the drag race anymore. So if you're going to be a fashion girl, go to the mall. You know what I'm saying? Hang out at the Gucci store. Go over there to Neiman Marcus and see what's really happening in fashion. You have to study fashion. You have to know what's on trend and know, which era things are coming from. You have to study fashion. It's not something, you should be able to, give what era you're referencing and that type of thing. So it's a lot of people come over here and look at, Project Runway and like, I want to be a designer, but fashion takes studying. Most gay white men think they can default to making fashion because of their access. Robbie is dressed like a black guy from the 90s. He is, and Robbie should have put that outfit on somebody, and maybe I would like him better. It was just like a whole lot of talking, girl. And, Joseph McCray, none of these people standing here need to say Joseph McCray unless they saying very nice. Very nice, Joseph McCray, because whatever he was doing was hella better than whatever they got going on over here. Like I said, our Bonnie, she used her simplicity pattern that she got. Oh, she didn't even get it at Joann's because that's gone. So maybe she went down to Michael's or something and found her Walmart, got her a pattern, and didn't do anything to make it fashion. I don't even hate it, to be honest. It's just so very basic. And we can't come over here being basic with the best of what you got. Plain Jane, ain't nothing plain about Jane. If she was a girl, she would put spikes on her coochie, down her booty crack, and on her boobies, shoulders, knees, and everything else. This is just a tacky. Where is this person going? What is he thinking? Because he had the most mouth out of everybody. He made me not even want to go watch his season of RuPaul's Drag Race. I miss Joann's. Joann's caught a straight because I miss Joann's. Like, I don't like Michael's. And I buy fabric online, but unfortunately, you can't touch it. You can't see what it feels like. So, you have to go by your knowledge of textiles, and it don't always translate. So, anyway, plain Jane. This is stupid. I don't know what was all this talk about. And I feel like he was the one that said he wants to be known as a designer and not a costume designer. Well, then stop making weird, teeth on the vagina and things. This outfit is scary. It's just scary. And then you got your boy. I'm gonna look for him since now I know he's from Orlando. Jeffrey. Jeffrey's dress looks like a water fountain in a Chinese restaurant. You said the fact that they played in Joseph McCrae's face last season, they did. And why worry for the black designers? So many mediocre white designers. Well, this is what academia, YouTube academia, and some. If you come over to Coffee Talk in the mornings, we discuss those things. Now, what I will say is, Aaron, Octavius, even Lorraine, is that how you say her name? Lorraine, you can easily go over there and we can spend our money with these designers. So they're here for us, they're on this platform, and it's an opportunity for us to find some other, way to spend our money in a way that we probably wouldn't have in the past. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot, even the ones from the past. One of my favorites, Cateau. You could go and look at many of the designers, and they have clothing lines like currently. They have collections currently up there. So yeah, I mean, Naeem, we do Coffee Talk. The schedule is Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10:30. So we get over there and we talk about Black excellence, Black history, current events, and we do a little bit of celebrity gossip over there. But we talk about it all the time, like looking for places to spend our money. And if you see a designer over here, go check them out and see what their website is. We saw B. Scott have a little girl approach her and immediately purchase something from her website. So we could do the same thing. Jeffrey used recycled. That's what El Cid said. He used a recycled look. Well, he shouldn't have done that. I ain't never seen it before, except for at a Chinese restaurant when you walk in and have water running down. It wasn't flattering for the shape. It looks like he created some kind of belly pouch for that lady that wasn't actually there. And if that's what he had time to adjust that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You looked at that lady with them belly bubbles, and it's not her fault. It's his fault. He's the designer, and that dress, stiff thing walking around. I don't know. Y'all decide. Well, we don't know who's going necessarily. Like I said, I think it's gonna be either Arbani or Robbie. Those would be, my two guesses. Plain Jane and Jeffrey will stay because, they're so dramatic. And I don't know how dramatic Robbie is, but he was over here crying. That outfit he got on might save him. But if that's the case, then it should have saved Lorraine too. So that shouldn't be, that shouldn't be, an option. You shouldn't get to stay based on what you wore. You said, I'm just reading what y'all said before we get out of here. Yes, by all means, join us for Coffee Talk because we be over there having a good old ball in the morning. Get you through your first part of your day. You know what I'm saying? Mickey Meeks, winner. And I wonder, did he make it? Well, that's where he's been. That's where he's been making his money, like I said. So I wonder where he get his hair done. I'm gonna be nosy. I wonder who cuts his hair. I probably know that person, whoever is his hairstylist, or at least the salon that he goes to. High end, I'm sure. That's some high end hair and some Botox and things going on. Listen, who do y'all think is going to be out? Before we get out of here, who do you think is going? I said I think it's going to be our body. The drag queens will stay based on the people that already know them. That's how I feel. We want, they will have numbers. And that's, that's business. That's life. It probably ain't fair, but that's how it goes. However many, these people, these three guys came with a fan base already. So they will have people, you know, cheering for them and that sort of thing. They should let us vote, like how on Love Island. They should have us vote. Project Runway should add like you know, the votes from the fans, from the audience. And, you know, so we can like not necessarily make decisions, but we can participate. You know what I'm saying? And keeping this balance over here. They won't do that. That's just a suggestion. If y'all know Heidi, got Heidi's number, you know, go ahead and tell her we need a call in feature for Project Runway. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, y'all. Thank you for coming over. Our Bonnie, unfortunately, will be eliminated. That's what I think. That's what I think too. Don't nobody know her. Um, and next week, I'm guessing we'll get into the real. You know, they'll drop whoever it is. I hate this. I hate this. Um, I want to do model picking again. I want to go back to the button bag and pick out which models you want. Switch it up a little bit. Plain Jane will stay based on the sewing abilities. She didn't sew nothing. That's what she do. So she sewed some what do you call those things? Studs to the crotch of that um lycra suit. Um, None of them did anything great sewing over here. Even Jeffrey with the water fountain coming from that dress. That fabric was easy to like put together. There's not any kind of real work going on over here. I would have to see some more of what Plain Jane has to offer. Um, yeah, that's about it. To go to Africa said, have a great weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and end on that. Y'all have a great weekend. Um, I'll be here next Saturday night at 8 o'clock, so we can talk about, you know, our faves and who needs to go and who should stay. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all when I see you. Bye, y'all.